Hi everyone, welcome back to this planner page sort of set of videos that I am doing. In our first video we sort of tackled the lily pads, the frog and the lily, and the second video we did some of these leaves and buds, and today we're going to sort of move up the page. I think really you're sort of supposed to move across so that you don't smudge, but I didn't. I'm going to zoom in a bit for us. Now, these circular parts, now in the Chris Cheng video, I think she colours them as frog spawn, which is quite fun. But I think I might colour them as, little rocks in the river or stream instead, just to do something a little bit different. So I haven't got a big range of greys. I usually like to do stones in a sort of rocks in a sort of grey colour, but I'm gonna have a go with what I've got. So I'm going to start with my Davy's grey. Now this is quite a browny grey, you can see from the end, which I quite like. Really I only have 3 in my castle set. I have the 72 set, which is plenty, but we only have 3 greys. So, but we've got all the lovely pretty purples and pinks, so you know, it swings and roundabouts, as they say. So what I'm going to do with the Davy's grey is I'm going to go every single one. I'm just going to do a light layer. You can see it's quite grey. I can definitely see that it's browny grey, but it may be trickier to pick up on camera. Let's put you more in the middle. There we go. So we're just going to colour all of these, and then we'll think a little bit about the shaping of them and the sort of shading, as it were. So I'm just doing quite a light layer. It is, even though it looks quite pale on the bottom, the colour, it's fairly intense and vibrant, which is good. I'm not looking for a sort of pastel tone, so that suits me. I do have plenty of really pale greys in my polychromas that I don't use as much as perhaps I should. But there we go. They don't always show up. They could be quite good for blending or mixing colours though. The polys don't really work like that, do they? They don't really mix up. See, that little one could be a bubble. We've got these ones around here which might be bubbles in the water. But anyway, I've done it. I'm going to do them all the same. Okay, so now we've coloured all of those in this lighter grey. I'm actually going to go in with a slightly darker colour. Now we've got, and it's a more grey colour. I'm trying to figure out what I said doesn't make any sense. It's a blacker shade of grey, like that. Whoops, it's going to roll. So it is the cool grey, okay, and it is more intense than this one. And what I'm going to do is attempt to make them look circular. I'm going to start with one that is this one, because we can see the whole of it. So basically all the way around the edge in a hard layer. Now I want to reduce that because I want to see some of the original grey that I put on there. Reduce it as we go towards the middle. So I'm just going round and round with less pressure as we go, and hopefully if we can get it right, it will make our stone look circular. You just have to keep working at it until you get the blend just right. There we go. Now the fact it's got something drawn on it makes it slightly trickier. Now the same on this one. I'm just going to work through them all doing the same thing. So as I say, you could do these as frog spawn. I think what Chris Cheng did was did them in a sort of, if it was polychromas, it would be ultramarine / sky blue type colours, a sort of powder blue maybe, I would say. I don't know what those colours are on Prismas. I haven't got my Prisma set yet. I'm very excited. I bought them from Coloured Pencil Shop. She's going to order me a tin, so she hasn't got it yet. She usually just does open stock Prismas, but she can get hold of tins. Now the reason I've gone to her, she is much more expensive than Amazon, but I know it's a genuine box tin, whereas a lot of the ones on Amazon, I think they're fake and I can't tell the difference. So I just wanted to make sure I was getting a genuine set, and she's lovely. And yeah, as I say, it'll be more expensive, and also I know she'll look after it well. She's going to send it by special delivery, so hopefully it'll be in great condition when it comes. Well, I'll find out. I'll probably show you. Now these are a little bit scruffy, but this isn't our final layer of colour. I might use it. You can always smooth it out with a blender. Now this one I'm going to go darker in here where they would be touching. There's a bit of shadow. So I gather from Prismas, I haven't looked at them lately and I'm not going to now I've ordered them. I want to leave it as a surprise. I gather there's 3 different types of greys. So there's the cold greys and the warm greys, which is what we get with polychromos. But there's also French greys, and I think they're even browner. And I quite like the idea of lots of browny greys. I know it sounds a bit... but for brick walls and stones and things, you know, good, exciting. And I know there's more pastel-y type colours, and I have got a few sets of pastel colours which are rather nice as well. But you know, I'm just looking forward to it. Really, it's exciting. And my mum has also asked me for a list of ideas, so I have just sent one off to her, and that's good. I don't know whether she will be able to get it all or not. She gave me her budget, but I'm not sure how much the postage is going to cost her to get the things, so I'm not sure which one she'll choose, so that's exciting. So we'll see. I've also had a friend saying they're going to get me something, so I feel very spoiled and I haven't even got anything yet. So that's rather nice. I've always said I don't really like surprises, you know, but if I know it's a colouring related gift, then it's always nice, isn't it? So that's good. Right, we are getting to the end of this layer. Now I'm going to go back in with my Davy's grey and sort of tidy them up a little bit. So try and just even out the blend and just fill in any bits that I think look a bit messy, really. And I just want to do it with a lighter pencil so we don't keep applying really dark colour. I may decide to make the edges a little bit darker, but at the moment I'm sort of trying to concentrate on the lighter areas a little bit, just tidying them up really. That one looks okay. I find the bigger ones get messier, it's a bigger space. Some of them, this one looks really flat. I think it's because it's got those dots on it, I'm not sure. Anyway, I wonder what Johanna intended these to be. I would find it fascinating if I drew a book and then everybody interpreted my picture in a different way to how I'd intended it to be. So say I drew a circle like this, and everyone coloured it as a rock, and I meant it to be a sunshine or something. Wouldn't that be amazing? Be fascinating, maybe. Right, now the edges of each of these, I want to emphasise the dark. So I'm going to grab my Cool Grey Deep, it's a slightly darker pencil. Just go around the edge of each one with it. just to make them all look a little bit darker. And hopefully the ones that looked a little bit flat might look a little bit more rounded. You can hear a plane flying over. It sounds really summery when you can hear a loud plane and it's sunny. Like clear skies make the plane sound louder. Of course, any frosty day like it is today, everything sounds loud. I can always tell if it's frosty even when I can't see outside by how loud the noises are outside. In the evening, we have a train go by. We're quite near the train line. I don't usually hear them, they don't disturb me, but about 11:15 the last train goes by, and if I'm still awake, if I hear it really loudly, I know it's going to be frosty. Okay, I'm going to leave those there, apart from fiddling a bit with this one, this big one, and move on. I'm just going to use my cool grey to fiddle with this one. Not completely happy with it. There we go. I'm just going to leave it now so I can fiddle forever, and let's not do that. We've got a little flower here, and we need to think about colours. I'm just trying to show you all the colours that we've done. So we've got purples and a pink, and I'm thinking let's tie it in with those colours. Let's do, maybe if we do a slightly darker pink, because this is quite dark here. Gosh, my chair is squeaky. So I'll pick maybe, yeah, let's go for this. This is the Purple Light, and it is really intense, but I'm going to use it quite lightly, and we'll see what happens. So I want it to be a bit darker near the centre of the flower, and then lighter towards the tip, like we did with this lily. It's going to come in a little bit for you because it's quite small. So I'm putting a few layers here, and then less as we go down. If you find that tricky, do a light layer first, and then just layer over it a bit. I don't find that as easy, but it might be easier for you. If it hasn't faded enough, you can always just erase a little bit. Use a nice eraser, not a smudgy one, and you'll find that it will just help. There we go. Now the centre of this one I want to be a sort of orangey yellow, I think. So we have the Brilliant Yellow, looks quite orangey to me. So I'm going to use that here. It's just not orangey, is it? It looks it on the tip. It's a really different colour. That's fascinating. I'll give it a sharpen so you can get a bit more intense. It's a nice colour though, isn't it? There, it's looking a bit more orangey now. And I'm going to colour that bit in a light layer of it. There we go. Now it's more orangey. You just have to layer it up. Look at that. Maybe it looks a bit more intense to the naked eye than on the screen. I'm just going to leave it like that. Yeah. It's quite simple that, but I'm happy with that one. Now we have these leaves. Let's go back out a little bit, because we have quite a big set. We have these leaves, which I will do all the same. Let's have a look at our colours. Now, we've used quite a few different green combos, haven't we? Let's have a think. What should we do? Let's start. Yeah. Let's start with the Castle Green Deep and see where it takes us. I've just realised we've got a bit that still isn't in shot. gosh, it goes all the way up. Ah, oh, there we go. So we've got this one at the bottom, then this one, this one, this one, and this one goes all the way up there. I think we can go in just a tad. There we go. So I'm going to start with this, as I said, the Castle Green Deep, and do the bits. Oh, it's a wibbly lead. The bits that are really close to the stones. So it's a bit of a wibbly lead. We'll see how long it lasts. It's going to go. And I'm just going to fade as I go up. I've got, is that a line? No, that's okay. I just saw a little blip there and I wondered if it was a line, but it's not. You know, drawn line. It's just a bit of pencil crumb. Crumb, is that the right word? Who knows? Oh. Now I'm going to sharpen. It's a bit silly to persevere with that. I think my sharpener's full. Yes, if you get any sort of sharpenings clogged around the blade area, then that means you don't sharpen very well. So that was the problem with that. Okay, we're getting there. It's taking a lot of sharpening. Oh, it's broken. Hang on. I'm going to use my Derwent sharpener. It will take a minute, but it will be a lot there. So as I say, take a minute because it makes the pencil a different shape, but it provides a much stronger excuse me, dusty. It provides a much stronger lead somehow. It's weird. I'm just making sure I'm only colouring the bits of leaf that I want to colour. That's this one, isn't it? Yeah. Now this one is a little different. I'm going to put a little bit here and here as well, just because it's sort of twisted, so it's a bit different. Okay, now I'm going to go to my Castle Green. So we've used the Castle Green Deep. We're going to go to the Castle Green. We're just going to work through these colours really. And I'm going to start about halfway through. Actually, I'm going to cover the whole thing because it is quite a different shade. So I think they'll blend better if I cover the whole thing. Go up to this line, we'll do that in a different colour. And then take this quite far up. It's a nice colour, I think. I wonder why they called it Castle Green. Obviously they called it after themselves, Castle Art. But I wonder why they picked this particular one to call that colour. I'm going to put a little bit there. Okay. Maybe a tad there. And then it ties up a bit with what we've been doing up here. So my husband uses Winsor & Newton paints, and he's always going on about Winsor yellows and Turner yellow. He thought it was named after Turner the artist, because it is true that Turner used to use Winsor & Newton paint, but apparently it's actually, he told me this morning, what did he say, it was named after the company that made the dye or something like that, I think, or made the pigment, I can't remember. So it wasn't actually named after the artist, which is quite interesting, because you would just assume, wouldn't you? But anyway, colours, names are interesting. It's the Black Widow colour names I love the best. Toxic Green and Fang Green and Toadstool and Stink Bug. lovely names, such fun. We should all be having fun while we colour, and if we can have fun by looking at our pencil names, that's great. Okay, sorry, just adjusting my posture a little bit. We do have to be careful when we colour, because although it's very relaxing, it can give us aches and pains if we're not careful. And it's about finding the right sort of desk position, posture that works for you. My husband was telling me he could make me a standing desk, so no thanks. I'm going to go a little bit from here, and what I've just noticed too is we have a little one behind, yeah, and we'll just do that with a bit of this, like that. And then we're going to use our Castle Green light to finish off. So, starting at the tip, just blend it through. What I find is the Castle Green Deep seems to be slightly bluey. The Castle Green is sort of not bluey or yellowy, and the Castle Green Light is yellowy, so you have to mix them together, or else the colours don't necessarily work together. But once you put them on top of each other, I think they work well, like here. It's a little bit strange, but maybe it's just my eyes. Don't know. You could do the tip with a little bit of yellow, just to really make it look bright. But I'm quite happy with just using these three greens. I think it's looking quite vibrant with these as well. So I've just had I've got a bit here, I just noticed. So we'll make sure we do that. Just really haven't put a page. I'm really bad at remembering to put a piece of paper behind when I'm using my planner. And I've forgotten that, and I suspect I'm getting, yeah, here. Obviously the colours coming off the page behind, but because I don't use the planner for planning, it's okay. I don't use a planner. I have a calendar in my kitchen with appointments on, but it's there on the fridge so that everybody can see it, so nobody's got an excuse for booking something when they shouldn't, sort of thing. But yeah, otherwise I don't really journal or plan. I used to. I didn't used to journal, that was a bit shadowy there with my hand there, wasn't it? I used to write down my goals and affirmations and things like that, but and it was good. It made me feel in control of what was going on, and I achieved the things I wanted to achieve, which was brilliant. But these days I don't have so many goals that I get a bit, I need to sort of write them down and remember what they are, really. And generally I just let life carry me along. I'm quite happy with that. Right, I'm just going to do this bit down here so before I forget, and I'm going to use the Castle Green Deep for it because it's going to be that dark bit. But I'm going to go over the top of it in the Castle Green, like we have with all of the rest. And then over the top of that with the Castle Green Light, and then do this one with the rest. Do the rest of this one, I should say. So there are those leaves. Now, we have a small set of 3 leaves here, which I'm going to do next. Because they're next to grey and pinks, I thought I might do them in a more bluey green shades. So the viridian is quite good as a base for that. So I'm going to start with my viridian and just do the base of the leaf really. We used that up there, I think. Did we use the viridian up there? Don't know. It will look very different in a minute anyway, because we're going to use our phthalo greens. It's nice to mix it up a bit, isn't it? With different greens. So that's just a little bit of viridian. Oh, I've got an itchy ear, excuse me. Then I'm going to use the phthalo green. I should just give it a sharpen. Phthalo. I'm not sure whether I'll go up the whole length of the leaf or not with this. Let's see. I don't think I will. I think I'll bring in a third shade. We've got a light phthalo. So I'm just going to start to fade it a little bit like that. And actually it still looks quite like these, so if we put a lighter one in, hopefully it will make it look a bit more different. And phthalo green light, just to finish off. I just start at the tip. Actually colour the whole thing. And just put more layers where I think it needs it really. Okay, now where are we? I think I'm going to do these sorts of tendrils. Now I would quite like them to stand out. Actually they go all the way up there. Yes. So I'm just planning what I'm doing with the rest, so I have to make sure, whoops, wrong way, let's go outwards. So you can see the tendrils I mean now that go all the way up here. So I need to make sure I know what I'm doing with my up here before I do them, but my plan will work, I think. So I'm going to use the Oxide of Chrome. Remember we used it for our lily pads, and it will look quite different to these greens, which is the idea really, to do this. And I'm going to only use this one colour, so I'm going to layer it over a little bit so that we get, sorry I'm shading it, I will do that bit differently so you can see it. So I'm just going to layer it a fair bit so that it looks like a nice sort of intense colour, because we want it to stand out because it's weaving its way among the various other leaves. We can do this one as well. So there's nothing too special or clever, it's just colouring with enough layers really. I think sometimes beginners either press too hard to start with and therefore don't layer up, or they do just one light layer and it doesn't show up well enough. So two sort of rookie mistakes as it were, and it just takes time to practice and learn really. I was one of the, I didn't press hard enough, I wasn't very confident, and I think that's where it comes from, you know. And so my first, and I had a cheap set of pencils which were very difficult to get pigment out of, which obviously makes it a bit of a difference too. Now I'm going to do these leaves slightly differently to the stems. So I'm just leaving them for a minute, leaving them. Oh, so funny. You must fall off your chair with laughter every time you tune in. My children smack their forehead and roll their eyes in disbelief. Oh, mum jokes. Oh. Some of my one son he has a really black sense of humour. He likes really awful jokes that are quite sad. She's like, Mum, it's all right, it's just a joke. I'm like, Oops, out of the lines there. Right. So now we have, oh no, we've got this bit to go as well. And what I'm doing is I'm leaving the bits that I want to look slightly different. So here we go. So yes, now I've done all the bits that I want. So I'm going to do the bottom of this, and I'm just going to fade it so that we can blend in another colour, this leaf as well. I know it's just an odd leaf, but because it's on this stem, there's some up here actually, going off the edge of the page. I'm going to leave those circular bits, we'll do those in the colour of the flower, which I thought I planned, and now I'm wondering whether it's such a good idea. But we'll see. Nice and easy bit in here and here, and I'm just going to sit back and check that I've done all the bits that I want to, and I have, so that's good. And I'm going to use the Cadmium Green to finish off all the little areas that I started. Now I'm not going to go right back to the lowest part. I'm going to start where I started to fade the colour, because I don't want to cover the bit that's the same colour as the vine, as I want it to work together with the vine, if that makes sense. There we go. Just basically colouring in the rest. You can use, I'm doing quite a few layers because it is my last layer, so. But this is going to be our last little bit on this video, and we're going to come back tomorrow and do these flowers that are here, and the fish and the remaining leaves as well. Got a fair bit to do actually still. But I thought it would be better. It's lucky I broke it down into a few videos. But it's just because it's my favourite page. I wanted to spend some time on it. Let's have a look. Yeah, so that is, whoops. So we've done, what have we done today? I'm trying to get it all in shot so I can see. Okay, so we've done quite a lot of these leafy areas, haven't we, today, and this little flower, and all these stones. So we haven't got loads to go, but we'll finish off. Probably finish tomorrow, I'm guessing. Let's just clean that off for you. There we go. So anyway, that's me for today. So thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed that. I hope there wasn't a bit too much green, but I've probably used all the greens in the box by now. But thank you so much for watching. Enjoy the rest of your day and happy colouring.